We back. Basketball heads with my man Erick Hicks. Definitely back in the building. Got some great stories.
Y'all ready? Yeah. You have just stepped into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
Oh yeah, we back. Yes.
I was gonna say to you, let me tell you a quick story about the trophy.
Okay.
And how that got done. Now you know you're a ball player, and everybody you talk to that plays ball. Have you ever gotten a trophy with a black man on it in all your years of playing?
No, but I got a bronze once. I can't tell whether it's black or white.
Okay.
It's a bronze football trophy. But no.
That was my thing, man. Like all the years of playing ball, we always got the trophy. And I ain't got nothing against it, but it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I said, all right, so as a company, now where do I get the balls to think that I can pull this off? Because I knew nothing about manufacturing overseas and this, that, and the other. I'm just a regular kid from the Bronx making this all up as I go along, as far as the business is concerned. So I said, I want to turn my logo into the trophy. I want it to be like a Heisman, for basketball. So that's how this guy got born. All right. What happens is we made him a black man, and we sold probably 10,000 of these around the world. And it was and everybody who's played the game like on a certain during a certain time period has seen or touched or gotten one of these, and I'm very proud of that. From Vince Carter, when we were invited to give the whole U.S. Olympic team the game over trophies at the 40-40 Club, the Jay-Z. Somebody called me up last year on Thanksgiving Day and said, "Did you see the story on Channel 4?" And I go, "What story?" They did a story on Stephen Curry, and they go to his bedroom. And he's got 2 game over MVP trophies sitting in his bedroom next to his Michael Jordan jersey and his 2,000 point scoring ball and stuff like that. What I wanted to do is I wanted to create something that looked good. And when you get to that certain age where you got to get rid of all your other trophies because they don't match nothing in the house, you might take something like this and put it up on the fireplace and let it represent your game and let it be there like a Heisman or something like that. And let it represent your basketball career. So I don't know what made me think I was crazy enough to do that, but we wound up doing it. And I said, we have sold thousands, we've given away thousands. And if I never do anything else in the business arena, the fact that we put a black man on a basketball trophy and giving it out to our kids is probably, that could be game over for me right there. I mean, just a crazy, crazy thing. And the stories of accomplishing it, getting it made in China and not knowing anything about it, getting ripped off for 10 grand at one time, which was probably why that story, when I told you about the lights going out and this, that, and the other, was probably because of the trophy thing. But getting it done and being able to do it was just a great thing for us. So I just wanted to get that story out there because it is something that we're probably the proudest of. And then I sent you a picture of an overhead shot of a basketball court with a lot of different courts. I don't know when you asked me this.
Yeah.
Well, that court's in Co-op City. And we are the company that went back to Co-op City 3 years ago and helped renovate all of the playgrounds in Co-op City. So from where I started as a ball player, teaching the game to myself, fast forward 26 years later, the name Game Over is on every fiberglass backboard. I'm responsible for every backboard in that area, which is, I think, 30, and 5 brand new everything courts, breakaway rims, fiberglass backboards, new grounds painted, the whole thing. And we go back every year and do 1 free basketball clinic for the kids in the community every year. So
that's awesome that you said that, man, because we was trying to do the same thing for the Brevo Coliseum. That's where I came up playing. and we were talking to so many different politicians, from Don Milley to Carnegie, and everyone passes the bill on it. Everyone. No one. It's like they turn their nose down up at it. It's like, oh, that's something we don't want to touch. That's something we don't want to touch. And I would go, yo, Carnegie, didn't you play there? Didn't you? Don Milley used to have teams to come in and play. We used to coach, and no one would touch it, right? So what you doing? I just wanted to put that out there to you, man. We could talk outside of this, but I just wanted to put that out there, man. That's the Brooklyn Coliseum, Brevo Coliseum is what the Kingdom and the Rucker is uptown.
I know. I'm back from that era, man. And we used to hear about us guys from
it's the city treasure. It's a city treasure that's going to waste. It looked like an empty pool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what I was told I used to run a tournament in the big park, in the other park, and Rob definitely supported me on that. And I had all the high school teams playing in there. But one of the guys from housing would say, you know, Mr. Harding, the sad thing is crime paid. And if the kids don't have anything to do, the 81st precinct have more kids to lock up.
And we know that this whole lock up to prison and this, that, and the other is a business. And I call it feeding the machine. And we got to make sure that our kids are not food for the machine, because the prison industry, you know, the people that profit off of that, they're putting their kids in college and they're buying big fancy houses, and they're doing what they got to do to improve their lives based on our kids becoming victims of the system. And
listen, I'm gonna tell you a quick story, right? Because this has something to do with music. There's a letter that was written in 2011, 2012 by this senior VP in the music industry that kind of explained that there was a meeting held in the early 90s with prison officials, government officials, and the head record execs to switch the messages in the music, right? So when we was coming out of the self-destruction and the fight the power days, they made sure it switched to the gangster music. And they was talking about private prisons back then. Yeah. Because remember, in 1985, there was only 500,000 prisoners in the whole country in America. Ooh. After 1992, it jumped to like 1.5, and then like in the mid 90s, it went to like the 2-point-something million.
Yeah, you know what? Right? It's all a trap, man. It's a trap. Right. It's up to guys like you and me that see the trap, and the other people that have like thinking minds like us that see it and have to warn our kids, man. This is where you're headed if you're not careful.
There you go. There you go.
Making it easy for you to make these mistakes. They selling you something that's not real, man. And if you fall for it, you know, I always tell people, and this is controversial, and it's basketball. And I remember, well, I won't get into the argument about who's better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Why? Why do we have to compare?
Thank you.
Why? Because this is what ESPN, they're so bored, they don't have any shows, so all that they do is put us against each other. Who's better? Who's better? Who's better? Who's better? Like, come on, the fuck, they played it 2 different times.
This is why the Rolling Stones can sell out Giant Stadium.
Right.
And Earth, Wind & Fire can't sell out Lehman College. Because we're so busy battling against it. And, well, Earth, Wind & Fire is old, or the Commodores, or this, that, and the other. No. Embrace all of our culture. I'm so happy that I got to see Michael Jordan, and I'm so happy that I get to see LeBron James. Right. And let me tell you something. When we talk about these conspiracy theories to hold us back, it ain't even that deep, man. All they got to do is say, let's start an argument about LeBron James and Michael Jordan. They're going to spend all their time on that, instead of thinking about, should I buy Microsoft or Amazon? Should I buy Apple or Uber? Then we're not going to think about that. We're going to sit there and worry about LeBron James and Michael Jordan, which one is better. It's crazy.
This is why I didn't want to do like the new high school star and not represent the dudes who kind of paved the way and the dudes who are on the front line. I couldn't just do one. I couldn't just hype up the new star. You averaging 30, you averaging 40, you the new All-American, you the new flavor of the month. And we got people who were the flavors of the month and who are putting in that work, who turn their lives to become professionals. because we all know one day the game is going to be over.
Absolutely. Let me tell you somebody, I wish you could get him on because I would love to hear what he has to say. Jamal Mashburn.
I'm working on. Trust me, I am working. And we can do this together. Trust me, I've got my tentacles out.
54 Outback Steakhouses he owns. That's what we need to talk about. All right. I remember Reggie Theus. Do you remember Reggie Theus? You and
yeah, for sure.
I remember sitting in LA with Reggie Theus at the LA Sports Club, and we're talking, right? And he's telling me something about coffee he wants to invest in. And I'm like, Reggie, what are you talking about coffee, man? What that? My man was talking about Starbucks. Now, I don't know if he ever got the Starbucks, but he does own 20-something Pizza Huts. These are I remember sitting next to Dave Bing, right? Dave, legendary.
Yes.
A friend of mine, Lester Connor, was playing for the New Jersey Nets at the time. So he used to leave tickets for me, and I hated driving out to the Meadowlands. It was freezing out there. You knew they were going to lose, and the place was going to be empty. It wasn't anything. He used to give me Willis Reed's tickets because I think Willis Reed was the general manager all the time. So this night, today, and just to sit there and pick his brain of how he took basketball and created a company called Bing Steel, which was one of the biggest, most profitable steel companies. And I'm like, that's the things that fascinated me. How he made that transition. So a guy like Jamal Mashburn, or even the King brothers owning Wendy's and Burger Kings in Jersey or something like that, these are the things that kids need to know. You, my friend, have a very powerful platform. I've been excited all week to talk to you. I watch all your shows, and I'm like, okay, so how can I make him get this bigger? What can I do to help him? Because I've always to not, like, people didn't help me. Ray Haskins helped me. Ted Gustis helped me. But the help that I needed in the industry was never there from my own people. Now, you remember the shorts, All-Offs, right?
Yes,
Short thing that, and I don't know where All-Offs is, and I love him to death, and he was my inspiration. But I got the courage to walk into that store in Harlem and talk to him about starting a line like Game Over, what I wanted to do, what my dreams were, and this, that, yeah. My man never even picked his head up and looked at me. It was like, he couldn't get me out of there fast enough. Want nothing to do with me, nothing. And I'm like, well, why would you be like that, man? But it is what it is. And then I have other stories along the way from some of the rappers or movie directors. You know, if you'd have put my apparel in that movie about basketball, I would be at a whole nother level, and I could help a whole lot of other people. But we don't do it. So what I vowed to do, now that I'm in a position, is I'm going to help everybody, and I tell my kids in the gym this, I'm going to help everybody to prove a point and not be like the ones that wouldn't help me. So any platform that you have, you got it. Whatever it is. You want to be a rapper? Okay, so at halftime of these games, you're going to rap. You can play the guitar?
That's right.
I know this dude. I know that dude. I'm going to make this phone call. I'm going to make that phone call. Because if we stuck together like that, things like when COVID-19 hits our community, a black apparel company from the world of basketball can say, here's 1,000 ventilators. We don't need Tarzan to come swinging in on the vine to rescue us. Here's a hospital. Stop looking for Tarzan to save you. You know, do it ourselves. I even, like, when I see our sisters, and God bless them for being industrial and making the mask and stuff like that, you know, every sister that got a sewing machine is making a mask and in the business of making a mask. That's cool. But why they all got to say Gucci and Fendi and this and that and that?
Yo, that is the brainwashing of our people. First of all, one of the first two people who Coach Haskins, and you see I still got his picture up, right?
Absolutely.
Coach Haskins, the first two people names he gave me was you and Jerry Ice. He gave me you, Jerry Ice Reynolds, and Deborah, Coach Deborah, right? Who I'm gonna have on next week, right? And Coach Deborah, who I know, she coached me. Ice, who I always looked up to, and always wanted to meet you because I always heard what you was doing back in the Star Dome. Always heard people talk about, you know, mention your name, and it was always in a positive light. So this was, it was great. As soon as I saw your name, I was like, oh yeah, definitely, I want to get to know him.
Well, let me tell you about Coach Haskins, right? For you to say that to me, because I got so much respect for him, for my name to come up as one of the first people that he would think of, is just like, I mean, almost brings a tear to my eye. because this man went out on a limb for me when he didn't even know me. When he had that team at LIU that was heading to the NCAAs, everybody wanted to be next to Coach Haskins. Somebody introduced me to him, and I told him what I did. He goes, "You make uniforms?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, my kids were telling me about this game over, this, that, and the other. Could you make uniforms for my team?" I had never made uniforms on that scale in my life. But once again, I knew if I said no, the deal was going to go. I said, "Yes, Coach, I can do it." Right? All right. So he had free uniforms from all of the sneaker companies because LIU with Charles Jones and them and Richie Parker and all that was so hot. Every company wanted to have their stuff on their back. Ray Haskins back then said, "Nah, I'm going to take this $15,000, which a $15,000 deal to a company like mine at that time, you might as well set $1 million. I'm doing T-shirts in the park." You know what I'm saying? So a $15,000 deal at that time. He went out on a limb and gave that account to me, and we produced some uniforms, and they wore them. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, the uniforms were probably about a 8.5 or whatever. I'm sure Nike and Reebok was much more fly, but he was making a statement. I think, and you'd have to ask him, when they started piling up things against him to get rid of him, that was one of the things. That he went and spent that money instead of using the free uniforms that Nike and Reebok had or whatever, that he wanted to take this opportunity and look out for a black company, a young black man trying to get it done. I can never repay this dude. That's why when somebody like Charles Jones once called me and said, "Yo, I need a gym. My name is Charles Jones." We had never met. I said, "Charles, you ain't got to say no more. If Ray Haskins sent you to me, just come on through the door, man. I don't have to. Don't sell yourself. If Ray is sold on you, I'm sold on you. That's that." And that's just the way our community has to be. We have to look out for each other. I don't get to a certain place if guys like Ray Haskins doesn't turn me on to this one, doesn't turn me on to that one. Ted Gustis doesn't turn me on to Rolando Blackman and Derek Harper and then Reggie Theus and stuff like that. I don't get anywhere if they don't do that. So this is what I have to do for other people for what was done for me.
Jerry Ice Reynolds don't even do social media like that. Like, he said the fact that Coach Haskins, my high school coach, said this is something I need to do to help you out, brother, I'm here. And it happened. You know what I'm saying? So
you don't have to ask twice, and he knows that. Anything that they want, same way with Ted Gustis, anything they want, and it's amazing. And I love the Bronx because I'm from the Bronx, but we did not have that culture. We had a guy by the name of Ted Jones, and that's Calvin Jones's father. R.I.P. Ted Jones, legendary coach from the Bronx in a place called the Valley. He had a team called the Courtsmen, and he had all the elite players. That was the only basketball culture that I knew, but he was elite. His players was all just bad dudes. It was what it was. But I used to go to the games, and I used to go around. I used to go to his house and stuff like that. But that basketball culture is so powerful. But we need to recognize our economic power, because now I'll go to, let's say, and one. Game Over starts in 1994, 93, and one starts at the same time. And one gets to a point where the dude that owned it, Seth Berger, I talked to him one day. They sold the company. They didn't want to tell me, so I looked it up. $350 million. $350 million. Yo, we built that company. We built the company. $350 million. I ran into him one time in Vegas. I was going to do a trade show, still hustling. Got my bag of samples and this, that, and the other on my way to this show called The Magic Show in Vegas every day. It's a big apparel show where everybody... I know
exactly what you're talking about. I used to party out there when I was doing music.
Right, okay. So I see him. I see the guy that was one of the owners, and I say, "Yo, man," I said, "I thought you was out of the business." And he goes, "Yeah, I am." I said, "Well, what are you doing in Vegas?" "I'm a professional gambler. I'm a professional poker player." I'm like, "Ain't this a bitch? You done made so much money."
No, we out there dancing. Everybody taking our upfront money and saying, "Let me get a percentage of the company." It reminds me of.
Woo! I'm glad you said that. I wasn't gonna go there.
In 1973, Elvin Hayes was approached by Nike, and Nike said they would give him 10% of Nike or $100,000.
He took $100,000.
He took the nigga deal. But of course, right? If the agents get a percentage, he like, "Please, I want my cut right now. Take this 100,000." that 10% was worth, I think, $3 to $4 billion today.
Yeah, they make $1 billion a quarter, man. That was 2 years ago's figure. They might make a whole lot more than that right now. You know,
right. So
it's big money in this game, man. Big money in this game. And what I'm here to do and what I try to do is to show the people. I'm going to tell you the next frontier, and this is what we do in the Stardome now, is I took another room next to the Stardome, this huge room, and I'm setting it up as a technology center. Follow this. You're sitting in the gym, and I know you've been there, and the kids are talking about basketball, and they're talking about all these incredible things they're doing. And I'm like, who the hell did that dunk? You know, they talking about it. I'm like, who did what? And I look back, they talking about in the video gaming world. And we as old schoolers, I know, I'm like, yo, man, get away from the video games. Come and play ball. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you something. The video game business, that ship done sailed. We can sit there and fight it if we want and say, don't play, don't play, don't play, don't. These kids are playing video games. Kids are getting paid millions of dollars, and billions of dollars are being made in the gaming industry. So this is what I had to do. I started a part of my business where we teach gaming, but we teach the business behind gaming. We teach the industry behind gaming, because when you see the games, the music is hip hop. The movements of the guys, when they win, they celebrating and they doing the Millie Rock and the this, that, the word, and the shoot and everything. They once again, they're pirating the culture, bringing it into our game, into the games, bringing it into their living rooms and selling it back to them.
Yeah.
Now, you created all of this, fellas and ladies. You created this, and you're making it. So how can you not miss out on the next wave? We had the hip hop industry where everybody thought they needed to be up on stage, which now we know that the guys behind the stage, the producers, that's the money. All right. So we seen it happen there. We seen it in basketball for years that, okay, on the court is cool. Do your thing. Learn the business behind it so you can have some longevity and live off it forever. And now I'm watching it again with the gaming industry. Our kids are mesmerized. Adults too. And when you watch those games, you know why? Because I watched the NBA 2K game, right? The tournament they had on TV. Because we don't have basketball right now, that sucker's almost real. I'm sitting there watching it, and you go in the stadium and this, that, and the other, and they suck you in with all of the ambiance and this, and you sitting there watching the game. So what I did is during the COVID-19, I started a tournament where all the kids that have created their own My Player things, I got 5 on one team, 5 on the other. Every Saturday at 2 o'clock, they meet at the Game Over Gym in that 2K world, and they play. And then I do a highlight thing where because I edit and all that other stuff, video, I do a highlight thing and interviews of the players and highlights of the plays where it's almost like a real thing. So now in our thing, we're going to have a gaming thing where I have professional gamers. I don't know if you know, every NBA team now has a video gaming team, and you try out, you get drafted, and these kids getting drafted like that, you would think they're getting drafted to the NBA. When I watch the stories on YouTube, they can't sleep at night because it represents $60,000 to $80,000 a year if you make the team. You know, they practicing. Their family. Yeah,
a friend of mine, she's represent Rock Nation Esports. She's one of the representatives for Rock Nation Esports.
Who's that?
A friend of mine, Shirley.
Okay, so that's good to know, because I'm doing something with a company called Unanimous Gaming that's a part of Rock Nation and their esports division. So maybe you can run that by them. In fact, there's another story. About a month ago, they invite me to a meeting on 25th Street on the West Side. And I'm like, I do not want to go in Manhattan. Them days is over. I'm not getting on the train, but I don't want to go to Manhattan. It's raining outside. So I mosey on over there, and I'm pissed off that I got to go and this, that, and the other. And I get to this building, and this building is fabulous. You can't even get in. Then they buzz me in, and you get in this lobby. The lobby is fabulous. And I mean, what the hell is this? Maybe it was a good move. They put me on the elevator. When the elevator gets to the 3rd floor, the door opens up, and who's standing there to greet me? Jay-Z himself. And I mean, it just totally, that's how big the gaming thing is. That Rock Nation has got a thing, and we're in Bed-Stuy, 3 blocks from where he grew up. And I'm bringing my kids into the gaming world. So hopefully there'll be some synergy. We haven't gotten anywhere with it yet. But when you know somebody like Jay-Z is in the gaming game, that there's something there, because he's a billionaire and he's no fool. He's no fool. That's right.
And look, there we're looking toward the end goal. So a few more things I want to ask you.
Go ahead,
tell me about the summer camps, Game Over TV, and Tre21.
Oh man, good. Let's start with Tre21. All right. Now you know like you see with the trophies and with shaking the dribbling competition, I'm always inventing, I'm always thinking, and then in that space of basketball. One of the NBA teams called me in and they said they want to do a 3-on-3 competition. And I said to them, everybody does 3-on-3. Unless you're going to do something special, don't even waste your time because everybody's doing 3-on-3. I said, give me 24 hours. Let me come up with something for you. And middle of the night, I wake up, I go, I got it. I created a game called Tre21. Tre21 is 3-on-3. It starts out 3-on-3, right? Then you take one player off and it's 2-on-2. Then the player you took off has to come back and play the 1-on-1. But one of the keys is when you take this, nobody knows who you're taking off after that first round. So you can take your big man off, your little man off, your medium guy off, or whatever. But whoever's left is the one that has to play that 1-on-1. So it's strategy. You have to see by what the score is and whatever. Okay, yo, we down. We don't want to take our best player off in the 2-on-2 round because the other team might get to 21 and the game is over. So now you have to think. We call it the chess of basketball. So it's 7 minutes of 3-on-3, 7 minutes of 2-on-2, 7 minutes of 1-on-1, win and take off. We started doing that, man, and it just went crazy. I mean, we got big money tournaments where winning team gets a few $1,000s and stuff like that. We go full-blown uniforms, full-blown referees. We have another rule change. If you hit an NBA 3, it's only worth 2 points, but you also have the option of taking 2 points away from the other team. So if the other team is getting close to 21 and you hit that shot and you be like, okay, what you want to do? Take it off. And they take it off and it brings the score down. And I mean, it became a really, really, I'm so not stunned, but I guess humbled by the success because the kids, yo, we're going to play Tre21. We're going to play 21 where we've invented our own game. Once again, created something in a space where it didn't exist and made a change. And I mean, we film it like regular TV, like I have like a 4-camera shoot and we interview the players before and after the games and things like that. And really, really is exciting. Full-blown uniforms. The referees know the rules. Even the referees get Tre21 uniforms, you know? So it's really been a great thing. All right, you asked me about the Stydome camps?
Yes, and
okay.
the game over TV.
All right, so let's go Stydome camps first. Brooklyn Stydome, the governor said after the 29th of July, day camps will be allowed to open. Now, that's all cool, and I don't believe everything I hear. And yeah, we're going to open up, but we're going to open up on a limited basis. We'll be back in action the first week after July 4th weekend. We'll have our summer camps. We do 9 weeks of summer camp there. And, I mean, our summer camps are incredible. You can drop your kid off at 8 o'clock and pick them up at 5 or whatever, and it's just nonstop basketball training, philosophy. There'll be a gaming portion, as I said, where the kids that are into gaming, they'll get to play and they'll also get to learn about the gaming industry. And we have our guest speakers like Ray Haskins will be there. I'm sure Ted will be there. I'm sure I'll get other pros. As I said, we have Anthony Brown. I had Jason Williams there, the Jason Williams right when he first got out of jail. One of the first places he came was to the Brooklyn Stydome. And when he spoke, you could hear a pin drop. We had 300 kids in there, and you could hear a pin drop of him talking about the realities of being a superstar and then going to jail. And it was really deep. It was it was something that needed to be heard. And I love that dude. He's another one of the NBA players, one of the few that stepped up. And if you went to his house, you got a game over T-shirt, this, that, and the other. And I mean, he had me out there a few times. And he was just a good guy. When he was doing his camps, he would buy his stuff from me. And he could buy it from anybody. He could get it from anybody. I'm sure everybody, he probably was with Nike at the time. They would have given it to him for free, but he chose to buy it to help out. That was another Rob Phelps connection. But so, yeah, we're going to be full-blown camps. Our gym is going to go to a 24-hour-a-day format. So if you're a coach and you have like 5 kids that you train, you're going to be able to book the space online and get like an hour and 15 minutes, 24 hours a day. And the reason why I do 24 hours a day is because we got a lot of guys that are trying to go overseas that haven't had a chance to get in the gym and work out, don't mind coming in at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, if it means they're going to be able to get up there 500 shots and get a good workout by themselves or whatever, or with one other partner. So we'll keep the numbers limited. Like if a coach comes in and he wants to work out some kids, limited of like 5 or 6 kids, you know, and then we wash the balls after every training. You know, we sprayed the place down. I went and brought one of them spray things, that electrostatic fogging machine, they call it, and the black lights and everything to sterilize everything, to try to make it as safe an environment as possible. Because if I don't feel it's safe, I'm not going to open up, because it's not about money at this point. It's about health and staying alive. And but I do look forward to being able to give the kids a space to play. Okay, so GOTV, that was you know, long before the internet. All of the playgrounds that I went to, I filmed everything. Why? I have no freaking idea. But I bought a camera and I used to sit there. I wasn't playing anymore. I wasn't playing on the level that I was going to watch anymore. So, and I just filmed. And there was no outlet to put it or to play it, but I just knew that it would have value someday. So I wish I could show you. I have a room with a cabinet. I must have 700 tapes, DVDs, SD cards, every format that the camera industry has gone through, from big tapes to little tapes to little tapes to little tapes to SD cards.
Right.
I got them all, man. And I'm trying now during this COVID thing to digitize them, get them all in the computer before they degrade and you can no longer use them. And so GOTV has just became a thing where we can showcase some of the things that we have. And I mean, I've got, you know, I'm looking at a thing the other day where I'm handing out trophies maybe 10 years ago, and they go, MVP of the tournament, Russ Smith. And I heard it, and I had to go look at the thing. I said, damn,
wow.
Yeah. I mean, I got Tobias Harris when he was MVP and stuff, kid, where you didn't even think at the time. And then I go back, I said, oh, damn, Tobias is in the pros now. Oh, damn. So, you know, Kyle O'Quinn, I got like his whole senior year of high school, because his coach was Coach Granby, legendary Coach Granby. R.I.P. Coach Granby.
That's one of Coach Granby players right there.
Okay, so let me tell you something about Coach Granby.
Yeah.
We talk about Ray Haskins, Ted Gustis, and all. Coach Granby was a guy that right from the jump took a liking to me, and he used to bring me in to speak to his players. He used to do a tournament where he bought out T-shirts and he used game over trophies and this, that, and the other. Why? Because I was a black man in business and he wanted to help, man. Black man in business. I so miss that dude, the heart-to-heart talks that we used to have and the things that he used to tell me. And I mean, Coach Granby was a great, great man. And I owe him a lot for keeping my spirits up when there were times when I wanted to quit. Coach Granby was always in my corner. And I mean, I really appreciate Coach Granby.
He was my Empire State coach, so very good man.
Okay, so that man behind you is drawing those pictures. If he's a Granby boy, he's a good man. He's a good man.
Look, that's all I keep around me, brother. But everybody who know me know that. You got to be solid around me. Nothing. Yeah, that's what everybody wants to keep around me, brother.
I've been looking at his work online too. He's very talented, man, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. I'm about to show you in like 2 more minutes. I just want to say, who are some of the players that you admire in New York City today?
Woo! I'll give you a list of players that I've admired over the years. All right.
Yeah. That works.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me tell you the guys that kind of changed me from like me really caught my eye street ball wise. Future. When I saw Future play, that I thought that was incredible, man. I thought his moves and everything. See, when I went
from Harlem. He's from the Bronx. But
okay.
You know, he was on the show. He was on the show as well.
Yeah, when I came up, my favorite players were the Earl Monroes, Pete Maraviches, and things. So I wanted to handle and do. So when I went to St. Bonaventure, the fans went nuts. When I did get on the court, they were screaming. Let me tell you, when I went up to school and I was on the JV, I used to walk into the arena in my street clothes to sit behind the varsity bench. And when they would be blowing out the other team, the whole place used to start cheering, "We won Hicks, we won Hicks," because they knew. Now imagine, I'm going from the parks in Co-op City to "We won Hicks" just less than a year later, 6,000 people yelling and screaming, "We won Hicks, we won Hicks," because they knew when I got on the court. Now I wasn't in uniform at that time, but they knew when they went to the JV games and when I got on the varsity, when I got on the court, they was going to see something crazy. They was going to see something. So guys like Future really did it for me. I mean, my man Black Stallion, Dorian Graham, he actually posed for the game over figure. Just in case you don't know, he posed original Game Over figure. Bone Collector did it for me.
Yes,
I had never
definitely.
seen anything like that. High octane,
Yeah.
guys like that. But Bone Collector just blew my mind. I mean, Kareem
Yeah.
Reed, these tough little guards. And I have to give my, let's see, Starks. I mean, you know, it was tough, man. Tough. There was a guy in the Bronx coming up named Artie Green. I don't know if you heard that name.
Yes, I know about him. Yeah.
Okay, Artie Green was a legend, played for Marquette.
His name ring bells.
Sam Worthing. All right, that's
Sam Worthing. I was on the phone with him and Lloyd the other day. Sam, he said he's going to come to the studio because he doesn't do social media, but I got Sam on. He's on deck too. All
right, Sam was one of my heroes, and he's just a little older than me, but he was one. Then I had to play against him on a regular basis, so he was tough, man. He was tough. Let's see. Who else that really changed my mind? You know, I mean, your boy Fly Williams. I can go from Fly Williams to all the way up. There's a dude named Glenn Hagan from Western New York. From Western New York, who you need to get on your show. He was Fly Williams' partner in crime on the court, and sometimes off the court too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Every day, and you need to talk to him, man. He's got a lot of stories.
Jerry Little said the reason why he wore 35 was because of Fly Williams.
Okay. So, you know, like I'm a guy who just loves the game. Like I told, you know, people get on a guy like Carmelo Anthony, this, that, and the other. To me, when Carmelo Anthony was playing, he was the only reason to watch the Knicks. Now, there was certain, because of the technique as an individual. I'm a guy that used to love to dribble the ball, but I love watching the Paul Pierces, the Carmelo Anthonys, and the Kobe Bryants that can kill you without bouncing the ball or with two dribbles.
Technique,
oh
definitely.
My God. And you know, there's some, like, we got guys from the New York City game that get forgotten. Good friend of mine, Dana Dingle, played for UMass. I don't know if you know Dana.
Yeah, come on. Brother, I'm a New Yorker. I'm from Brooklyn. So I know all the ball.
St. Raymond's Dana Dingle, one of my best friends to this day. When I met Dana Dingle, he was like a senior in high school. And somebody brought it, at St. Raymond's, I was in the Gauchos gym, because Game Over really got launched in the Gauchos gym during the Felipe Lopez, Stephon Marbury, that whole round ball classic era. I was in the Gauchos gym every day, handing out T-shirts, because there was a guy that used to coach there. I think his name was Dave Jones. And then there was a guy on the microphone named Jephthah Lewis that called all the games. Jephthah became my friend, so I used to sit at the table during all the games. And I got to see Stephon for those 2 years. And people don't even understand how good this boy was. I mean,
I know him since he was 10 years old.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, he was
I went to Lincoln, by the way. So that's why I got to see him, God willing.
All right. So there's a famous picture of Stephon that was in Slam magazine, which that's a whole other story, Slam magazine. I think that's why Ann took off.
With Sebastian? With him and Sebastian?
No, where he's just standing there with his arm around Sebastian.
Yeah. I posted that picture.
With jersey on.
Yeah.
Okay. So that day that he went for that photo shoot, I gave him the jersey. And I said, they're not going to let you wear this. They don't show me no love, man. They ain't going to let you wear it. If it was Air One, they're going to let you wear it. But they're not going to let you wear this. The only thing they want from me is the money for that ad that's in it at $8,000 a month that I couldn't afford, which was another reason why the lights and the gas and everything was going off.
Right.
House. All right. And he wore it. And they let him wear it. And that picture is legendary. He just sent to me at least 5 times a year. Yo, Coach, did you see this? I'm like, yo, that picture's 20 years old. Of course I saw it. You know, and I got a copy of it on it.
I call that the LL FUBU moment.
Yeah. That's the thing, man.
Right? That's what you call out, looking out for each other. So this is what we're gonna do for you, my brother. Right?
Go ahead, man.
This is what we're gonna do for you. Let me see. There you go.
Oh, damn.
Yo, my man got the iPhone from back in the days on you. Yeah. Then he got your man. Then he got your logo here.
Look at that.
Okay.
Yo, I'm getting that frame, man. Yo, I love it. I love it, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Nah, brother. Come on, man.
Stuff like this that makes that 26-year road, you know, like, you do it, you never think anybody's going to recognize anything that you do. You keep grinding. Much appreciated, man. Shout out to my man back there that did it. You know, I can see.
Yeah, for sure, for
He's a
sure.
Grammy boy, so I really appreciate.
That's right, man. Look,
I really
brother,
appreciate it.
appreciate having you on, man. You're a great storyteller. You one of the first interviews. Look, I'm sitting here running down your questions, and through your stories, you're answering all the questions, right? So my boy looks at the computer. He's like, "Damn, G, you almost finished." I said, "Bro, because this is what you call a great interviewer, great storyteller, where I can just sit back and just let the camera roll, brother, because, you know, you filled up the space, man. You definitely, and you probably was one of those players who didn't get a lot of points, but you filled up the stat sheet, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I can score some points.
Look at that.
Hey, in Western New York, I still have the record in this one tournament, 55, man, and I talk about it all the time.
That's one more than me, brother. My highest was 54.
Okay, so I know what it feels like when that basket is so big that no matter what you throw it up, it goes in. I know that feeling.
That's right, brother.
And see, the great ones have that feeling every night. You know what I'm saying? We get to dib and dabble once in a while. God says, all right, I'm going to let you have it tonight. But the great ones, they get it every night. But I really appreciate it.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. I'm definitely going to be in contact with you after this. We're going to talk. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to continue this. And whatever I can do to come out, talk to your kids. You need an extra coach, extra voice.
Man.
Just call me, man, brother. Yo.
And I'm going to support what you do, man. So we're going to talk about that also.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate it. Any last words to our audience before you leave?
Yeah, the only thing that I would say is, like, in this game, let's realize the power and potential that we have as a community, as a race of people, to really step up and start owning and doing some things. I'm so proud of this generation of LeBron Jameses and even Kobe, God rest his soul before he passed, that to step up and really, you know, do some things economically to empower people and youth, whether they can play basketball or not. But understand and take a comprehensive approach to the entire picture and not just study the basketball aspect of it, because basketball is a tremendous tool and it's very powerful, but it can be a trap. And you can wind up peaking out at 25 years old and then thinking that it's over, whereas it should just start to begin with the skill set that you learn and the mental fortitude that you gain from persevering in something like this. So in a sport like this, especially in one of the toughest cities for basketball that there is on the grassroots level.
Definitely. New York City, man, we done seen the best, we done seen the worst. For those who want to get some more insight on what life can be after game over, I think you guys should check out F.M. Whitehead's interview, and definitely check out Chanel Scott's interview, because they gave it up, right? Through the struggles and the heartaches of what happens after basketball and sometimes during basketball. I would like to thank my man Erick Hicks for coming through. You're a very positive brother, man. Like I said, man, keep fighting a good fight, man. Keep fighting a good fight, and we salute you, brother.
You're much appreciated, my man. And we'll talk.
Right. Take care.
You too, man.
Thanks for tuning in, basketball heads. We appreciate you. Y'all stay safe out there.